You always think you are so perfect, don't you? Everyone loves you, Adego, the perfect daughter and sister. Well, I'm sick of it. Shocked, Adego tried to calm her down. Adugo, I am not perfect. I just want us to work together. We are family. In a fit of rage, Adugo knocked over a pot of stew that Adego was cooking, and the hot stew spilled over Adego's face. Once upon a time, in a small village, lived a pair of identical twins named Adego and Adugo. Adugo was the elder with just a few minutes. She possessed the qualities of a leader. She was caring, responsible, and always looked out for her siblings, including her twin sister Adugo. Adugo, unlike her sister, was careless and lazy. Though they lived together, Adugo left all household chores for Adego to handle. She would cook, clean, and wash. Whenever she prepared a meal, Adego would trickily appear in the kitchen to be the first to taste the food. She would grab a plate and take some food. Her sister Adego often wondered why she had never contributed to the household chores. Their neighbors took notice of Adego's hard work and they all admired and praised her. Adugo tried to be just like her more charismatic sister, but it just didn't work, as she couldn't just pretend to be whom she was not. While Adego was outgoing and confident, Adugo was more reserved and was often overshadowed by her twin sister's brilliance. Nonetheless, the bond between them remained strong during their early years. They were two halves of a whole, sharing childhood together with a mix of love, happiness, and the occasional sibling rivalry. As they entered their teenage years, the differences between the twins became more pronounced. Adego's natural leadership qualities became more noticeable and attracted her the respect of the people. The village people often compared the twins, praising Adego while unintentionally diminishing Adugo. Their constant comparisons sowed the seeds of jealousy and bitterness in Adugo's heart. Regardless of their differences, Adego continued to care for Adugo, unaware of the brewing storm within her sister. She always defended her when others made hurtful comments. However, Adego's jealousy only grew, always eager to undermine her sister. One day, while Adego was cooking, she sneaked into the kitchen and began eating the meat meant for the meal. Adego reprimanded her, and this seemingly minor incident triggered a confrontation that neither sister saw coming. You always think you are so perfect, don't you? Everyone loves you, Adego, the perfect daughter and sister. Well, I'm sick of it. Shocked, Adego tried to calm her down. Adugo, I am not perfect. I just want us to work together. We are family. In a fit of rage, Adugo knocked over a pot of stew that Adego was cooking, and the hot stew spilled over Adego's face. Adego ran out of the kitchen screaming. As their parents ran towards the kitchen, when they got there, they were shocked to meet Adego writhing in pain, her face scalded and red. The parents rushed her to the hospital. Adugo was left to struggle with the immediate guilt and fear of what she had done. The circumstance marked a turning point in their lives and forever altered the peace and harmony within the family. Adego's healing took a long time of pain. The burns left her face disfigured, and it often reminded her of her sister's ill behavior towards her. She spent most of her time in her room, avoiding mirrors and the sympathetic glances from her family and neighbors. Adego's parents did their best to support her, but they were also at a loss on how to help her heal from the pain she felt, looking at her current state. Adugo had always lived in her sister's shadow, and now that she was disfigured, she felt a perplexing satisfaction mixed with her remorse. Ade goes to be the youth leader in their village and has always been admired by the people. When she finally returned to the village, she was anxious to resume her leadership role. However, she was met with a shocking reality. The young maidens had lost respect for her. They would murmur among themselves, pointing at her scars. She made efforts to continue leading, but they no longer saw her as the strong and capable leader she once was. Adego walked the streets of the village with her head down, conscious of the talks and stares from the people. Though her friends tried to be supportive, their pity only made her more sad. She gradually became apoplectic. Adugo had been the lesser twin for so long, and now that her sister was scared, she felt she had leveled up. Although she knew she had crossed a line, but she couldn't bring herself to admit it, not even to herself. She started associating with some rebellious girls in the village who mocked her sister and sought validation through their approval. One morning, while Adego was in front of their house washing her clothes, Adugo met her washing with her soap, and out of anger and frustration, she lashes out at her. Why do you have to be so perfect all the time? Even now, with your stupid scars, everyone still loves you more than me. Adego, ever peaceful and loving, told her that she never wanted to compete with her as they were supposed to be sisters. As weeks turned into months, Adego found herself fighting with anger. The bitterness and grudge she had tried to suppress began to surface. She was angry at Adego for what she had done, angry at her parents for not being able to fix things, and angry at herself for feeling so helpless. Her anger began to affect other aspects of her life. She parted ways with her friends, distanced herself from her family, and found it increasingly difficult to talk to anyone. Adego has grown into someone unrecognizable, both to herself and to those around her. One day, while she was going home from the market, she met her sister and her friends. They taunted her, calling her names and mocking her appearance. Adego tried to ignore them, but the taunts cut deep. When she finally made it home, she cried herself to sleep with anger and sadness. As the twins approached adulthood, the topic of marriage began to surface. In their village, it was customary for parents to arrange marriages for their children, seeking out well-mannered girls from good families. This tradition became another source of headache for Adego. Parents who knew her to be a good girl arranged for their sons to marry her, but they all rejected her because of her scars. This constant rejection from suitors deepened her bitterness and anger. She attacked her family always, and her behavior earned her the nickname Angry Bird from her siblings. One night, while Adego was sleeping, Adugo woke her up and pleaded she forgave her for all the mistakes she had made. She claimed to have found out her errors and was ready to make amends. However, Adego was not easily convinced. Her own anger and pain were still fresh, and she found it difficult to believe that Adugo could truly change. The scars on her face constantly reminded her of her sister's hatred, and forgiving her seemed like an impossible task. While Adego was rejected by the men, other suitors who came were interested in Adugo. However, Each time a suitor showed interest in Adugo, Adego would out of anger found ways to sabotage the potential match. She set traps, denigrated her sister, and did everything in her power to ensure she remained unmarried. Everything Adego did to stop her sister from getting married was as a result of anger. Her behavior became more strange over time and affected her relationship with her family. One Sunday afternoon, as another suitor left the house, having been scared off by Adego's gossip, Adugo confronted her. "Why are you doing this? Why can't you just let me have something for myself?" Adugo asked her sister. "You think you deserve everything after what you did to me? You ruined my life, Adugo." The argument escalated, with both sisters hurling accusations and insults at each other. One afternoon, as Adego was walking home from the market, she encountered a woman sitting by the side of the road. The woman had a serene presence, and as she passed by, she called out to her. Adego walked close to the woman and she said to her, "You carry a heavy burden in your heart, my daughter. If you wish to find peace, you must let go of your anger." "What do you know about my burdens, madam?" she asked the woman. The woman smiled kindly. "I know that anger and hatred have consumed you, but forgiveness and love can set you free." Adego derided. But the woman's words stayed put in her mind long after she had walked home. That night, as she lay in bed, the woman's words troubled her heart. She realized that her anger was not just hurting her sister, but also herself and everyone around her. As days went by, Adego struggled to reconcile her feeling of anger. She knew she needed to change, but the track to forgiveness appeared daunting. She began to reflect on her actions, the harm she had caused and the pain she had inflicted on her family, and slowly she began to change. Her parents and siblings saw subtle changes in her behavior and were hopeful that she was beginning to heal. Adugo again approached her to seek for her forgiveness. "I am sorry, Adego, for everything. I know I've hurt you in ways that can't be undone, but I want to try and make things right. Please give me a chance to make amends." "It's not that simple, Adugo. You can't just say sorry and expect everything to be okay." "I know, but I want to try. I want to be better for you, for our family, and for myself. I don't know if I can forgive you, but I'm willing to try. It won't be easy, and it won't happen overnight." "Okay, thank you, my lovely sister." Adugo began to make little but meaningful changes in her behavior. She distanced herself from her rebellious friends and focused instead on repairing her relationships with her twin sister. Adugo helped around the house and made genuine efforts to be kind and supportive. Adego, though still wary, began to see the sincerity in Adugo's actions. Her stone heart began to melt and she found herself opening up to the possibility of reconciliation. The sisters began to spend more time together, talking about their feelings and the experiences that had driven them apart. Sooner than later, the sisters reconciled completely with each other, and the family found moments of joy and laughter once more. Adugo got married to the next suitor that came and bore 2 children. Adego, after a few years, met Ikechukwu, a man who paid no attention to her scars. He married her and gave her a life more than what she had ever anticipated. Their parents were happy, though their family had faced incredible challenges, but they had emerged stronger and more united. The moral lesson of this story is holding on to anger and jealousy only causes harm, both to oneself and to others. And letting go of past grievances brings about healing and peace. Hello, favorite one. Thanks for listening to my stories. Your support means the world to me, and I couldn't do this without you. Your likes, comments, and shares keep me motivated to create more stories. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on the post notification bell so you never miss out on any of my new stories. Thanks again, and see you in the next story.